Hi everybody and welcome back to another Photoshop tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make eyes look more interesting using dodge and burn. So for this tutorial I'm going to be using my own dodge and burn action. I'm going to link this down below, but in the past video I explained kind of like the basics of dodge and burn. I'm going to link that below too, so if you don't know what dodge and burn is, you can watch that. But basically it's a Photoshop action, and I'm just going to press play, and then here we have the dodge and burn action which we can work with. And then I'm going to use this just the basic normal brush with an opacity and flow of 30%, and then we're going to switch here to the black and white color. And we're going to start out with the white color here, and as you can see the photo is pretty much finished. I'm just going to work on like the inside of the eye for now. And yeah, just like show you little hacks how you can make eyes look a lot more interesting only using dodge and burn. So let's get started. I'm gonna make this brush a little bit smaller, and let's zoom out so you can kind of see better. Right here and like around the iris, the eye is a little bit darker, also like right here. So we're just gonna brighten it up a tiny little bit so that it's a bit more even, and you can like go as crazy as you want, but I'm gonna keep it pretty natural. And as you can see, let me zoom back in, like right here, when I turn off the dodge and burn, the iris is a little bit darker. If I turn it on, it gets a little bit brighter. So the next step that we're going to do is make the brush even smaller and kind of brighten up the iris just a little bit. And you can, if you don't want it like as extreme, you can either turn down the opacity up here, or you can also just lower the opacity of the layer itself. But I'm just going to keep it at 100 right now, just so you can actually like really see the difference. This is our before and after of this first little thing that we did. I'm just going to keep working on kind of brightening up the eye a little bit. And the next thing is that you can just brighten it up down here a tiny bit. And what I've already done is brighten up this part, so it just kind of gets like a more three-dimensional look. And then once we are finished brightening up the eye with the X key, I'm gonna switch to the black color here. And then let's zoom in a little bit more again. And then what you can do is, first of all, obviously you can darken the lash line a bit here just to have that like more dramatic look. And then you can also darken the like outer circle of the iris just to make that inner color pop even more. And then we're also going to be darkening the black spot in the middle of the eye. So let's zoom out again and look at that before and after. As you can see, it already looks like a lot more interesting. And especially that black circle like around the eye now makes the color on the inside pop a lot. And I think I'm actually going to turn down the opacity a little bit here. Yeah, that's perfect. And as I've said, you can go as crazy as you want with this, but I'm just going to show you another little trick that does not involve dodge and burn, but it's also really helpful. So I'm going to create a new layer here and then use my sharpening layer. Press play on that, and as you can see there's a black layer here, so we're going to use the white brush to paint on the black layer, turn the opacity and flow back up to 100, zoom in the eye again, and then sharpen the iris to bring out those colors even more. And then you can also do the same thing like below here and up here. As I've said, I've already done this, so it might look a little bit extreme right now, but just so that you can see like what the difference is, and that also like makes the eye pop even more. So to make the next step a little bit more visible, I've switched to this photo where we have blue eyes, and I'm just gonna apply the dodge and burn action again, turn my opacity back down to 30%. And also the flow. And what you can do now, this is kind of to intensify the eye color a little bit, is to, with the Alt key, sample like a color from the eye. And then here you can see like the exact color that it is. And what you can do is you can kind of make it a bit more intense. You can take it like right here, or you can like leave it a little bit down below. You can also change like the color. Let's maybe brighten it up a little bit, and then make the brush as small as the iris is. And then you can just kind of paint over it. And as you're painting, you're probably not going to see like a huge difference, but once I show you the before and after, it's going to be like crazy. And then I'm going to use the black brush again, as I've said before, with that little circle around the eye, darkening the center of the eye and the lash line just a bit, and then brightening up the lower part here. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, and as you can see, the eye is like really blue right now. It almost looks a little bit fake, but as I've said, I'm gonna show you, like in all my tutorials, I'm always gonna like over exaggerate a little bit just so you can really see the difference. And this is like her natural eye color, and here we have the extreme blue eye color. And as you can see up here, we have like a little bit of a shadow now that I painted in, and that also makes the eye really pop. Let me zoom out again so you can see. It kind of again gives it a more three-dimensional look because it's like brighter down here and darker up here, and it just kind of makes the photo look more like dimensional. I have more depth. So this is how you can edit eyes. Let me also use the sharpening action here again. As I've said, use a white brush on the black layer and then turn up opacity and flow to 100%. If you want like a little bit of a lighter sharpness, you can also turn down the opacity or turn down the opacity of the layer again, as I've mentioned before. So this is after the sharpening action. Let's look at the full before and after. So this is her natural eye color, and this is the after. And it doesn't really look real anymore, but you can, as I've said, just turn down the opacity a little bit here, and then you have like a pretty natural and like really strong eye color. I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Don't forget to like it and subscribe down below to not miss any of my future videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!